You are now listening to Bad Dog Podcast.
What's up, you guys? It's Bad Dog Podcast. We got a good episode for you guys today. For those that follow us on YouTube, don't worry. We're still gonna post the actual podcast, the audio, but we don't have visual. So you guys can stay tuned for that. If you haven't liked and subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and do that. And yeah, we're just gonna jump right into it. So today. Man, I want to talk about boundaries, man. Yes, we all need boundaries, man. Because, like me going to prison, being around a lot of different cultures and different, people. One thing that prison to teach you is boundaries. Because one thing about prison is when you go to prison, you can't just go and do what you want and, just, think life is good. Like there's certain rules within, the prison system that you have to like stay accustomed to. Like for an example, like the Hispanic, race, whether they're Northerners or Southsiders, they have their own areas and, benches and stuff that, that they use, in order for them to, socialize and do their little thing. And then you have, the African Americans, which is, we're broken up in all type of groups. You got some Bloods, you got some Crips, all of that stuff. But again, everybody has their own areas in which they, do their thing, then they collaborate and get down to business. So today we're gonna be talking about boundaries, man, and I'm gonna break it down for you guys right now. So boundaries is a line that marks the limit of an area, a dividing line. Ooh, that's deep. A dividing line. So what that means is it's a line that's always going to be drawn, and it's not necessarily saying that you can't cross that line. We all can cross that line. I mean, if there's a stop sign, you know what I'm saying, you don't have to stop. Like, you could just keep on going. If there's a red light, you don't have to stop, but it would be in your best interest to stop because there's other cars are going to be coming. And so the main thing about boundaries is boundaries keep you within your realm to have freedom. You see what I'm saying? You can't have freedom without boundaries, because just freedom without boundaries, it doesn't work. Even with criminals, like even, going to prison. Yeah, we crossed the line, we broke the law, whatever the case may be. But at the same time, we still had rules and we still had boundaries within ourselves that we didn't cross. And so that's the biggest thing that as people we have to like understand what our boundaries are, especially dealing with people, because you have people who they don't have boundaries or they don't have filters. And so a lot of times they'll get around people and they'll say certain things that may be harmful or may be threatening to another individual, even though they don't mean it. It's just they don't have boundaries. Like, say what I want to say. But again, they're not understanding that, by you doing that, you're not allowing everyone to coexist within this arena. You see what I'm saying? It's just like sports. Sports, you can be as competitive as you want. You can be as strong as you want. You can be as fast as you want, but you still have to remain within the realms of the rules, the boundaries. And so a lot of people get rules and boundaries mixed up because they think it's a form of dictatorship. They think, oh man, those rules are just there because it is, or oh man, they just tell people that because it is. You see what I'm saying? And so like my experience, and I can give you guys a perfect example, is when I first went to prison, there were, there were rules that the correctional officers will tell you, or there'll be rules that's, stated on the wall or written, on places of, don't do this. Keep your shirt on in the day room. I'll give you guys examples. Keep your shirt on in the day room. No working out in the day room. And if you guys are leaving your cell door, if you guys are leaving your cell, make sure your cell door is closed. And so, when you first go, you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm just follow the rules, so because I don't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And so over time, you start seeing what other people are doing, and you're like, let me go talk to him real fast. Let me see what this is about. And so when you start talking to certain individuals, what they'll tell you is, oh yeah, no, um, you can work out in the day room, um, but you just have to work out in this area. You see what I'm saying? And then you're like, oh, okay, so that rule wasn't really a rule then. Hmm. And then, it'll get even deeper. It'll like, no, no, no. You can have your shirt off in the day room. It's just you got to be working out. They don't want you, they don't want you with your shirt off, just walking around, just, no, they're not doing that. No. And then, the next one is, oh no, you don't have to shut your door. You can leave your door cracked because they don't want to have to always pop your door in case you got to use the bathroom, in case you left something in your cell. So the biggest thing that I'm getting at is in in our society, a lot of times one set of people will be told that these are the rules, and then another set of people will be told that no, 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 you don't have to do that. This you can do it, you could do this, you just can't do that. And so a lot of the times you have to do your own research, and unfortunately, trial and error is where you kind of learn like where that line is. Now, unfortunately, what people had did tell me, you can leave your cell door open, you can have your shirt off, but you got to be working out. You can work out, but you got to work out in this area. Now, unfortunately, the correctional officers that are pretty hip to that routine, they will allow that stuff to happen. But again, if it's a new officer and like the officers that are used to running that area, if they're gone, guess what? All the rules still apply that um that are stated before I started listening to everybody else. So it's a mental shift. So it's like, dang, wait a minute, man. Man, we've been doing this for the past, man, like 4 months, man, and now you guys are telling us that we can't, like, man, what's up with this? So what ends up happening is when we are told to do a certain thing or this is what it is, and then we find out that it's not, we get very, very agitated. And I see this a lot of times with animals as well. Animals, if you guys really pay attention and understand animals are very, very they're very, very consistent when it comes to doing things a certain type of way. And I'll give you an example. Um, one of the biggest things that I used to always get called for when I first started, dog training and helping people with their animals was the couch situation. It was the whole, well, the dog keeps jumping on the couch. And, when we tell the dog to get off of the couch, the dog doesn't want to listen. And so I would just, I would ask him, I'd be like, so have you guys ever allowed the dog on the couch? Well, yeah, we allow the dog on the couch, but again, like if we tell the dog to get off the couch, like the dog should listen to us. But when you guys allowed the dog on the couch, did you guys set the boundary of when we tell you to get off the couch, you have to get off the couch, or you could be on the couch, but you only could be on the couch at this time? Like, was there any, distinction between that? Well, no, but again, like The dog should know, like, when we don't want him on the couch, he needs to be on the couch. Ah, so you guys confuse the dog by allowing the dog on the couch, demonstrating no boundaries, and then now you guys don't want the dog on the couch. You guys are trying to implement boundaries, and the dog isn't responding to it. And we see this a lot in society, and a lot of the times, like, you know, stuff like this would agitate us and throw us off our game. So as being, very intelligent people, we have to just understand that whatever boundaries we set, even for ourselves, like if you tell yourself, um, I'm not gonna stay up past 11. I need to start getting more sleep. You know what I'm saying? Then that's a priority. That's not something that you just do sometimes. That's a priority because you know that, okay, I got to get up early. I got to do this. I got to take the dog out. So this has to be a regular thing. So when we get comfortable with setting boundaries and sticking to those boundaries, nobody can get you off your game of, a lot, telling you to do something that you already know that isn't in your realm. You see what I'm saying? Even if you're going out with friends and you guys are having a nice dinner, everything is going well. You even within that realm, you'll look at the clock and you'll realize, oh man, yeah, it's about that time. It's Yeah, I gotta go home. I'm usually in bed at this time, and yeah, I'm gonna just go home so that, I stay within my boundary because I know if I stay up past 11, I'm not gonna want to get up in the morning. And then if I don't get up in the morning, then the dog doesn't get out. If the dog doesn't get out, then the dog is extremely crazy. And my dog owners know what I'm talking about. If you don't take your dog out at a certain time, like they will let you know, like, hey, I need to get out. I need to do something. Like I got all this crazy energy and you didn't even take me out this morning. Like those are the things that keep your life in a flow. You always want to keep a flow of your life. And part of that is having boundaries, is setting boundaries. One thing that's really, really cool that I discovered is that freedom can only exist within boundaries. Freedom can only exist within boundaries, meaning, if you have your driver's license and you have a car, you know what I'm saying? You have the freedom to drive wherever you want. But because there are rules of the road, there are speed limits, the little yellow line in between the roads that distinguish, which way the traffic is flowing. Those are the boundaries I must follow in order to get to where I need to get to. You see what I'm saying? So having boundaries is a good thing. Like you wanna set boundaries. Like even for your pets, even for your animals. Like you wanna set boundaries because it makes everything flow together. You never just wanna, just let stuff happen. You see what I'm saying? And then deal with it later. And then now you got, a whole bunch of stuff that's going on, and you don't even know where to start to orchestrate it and get it under control. And this is what we help our clients with, being a behavior coach, is we help you guys to set boundaries. You see what I'm saying? We help you guys to be able to communicate to your dog in a way that's practical for you and that's easier for the dog to understand a consistent rhythm so that the dog isn't thrown off with these spontaneous gestures. Dogs don't like spontaneous gestures. They don't. They don't like it. And I'll give you an example, especially with little dogs. Like people love engaging with little dogs. They love it. Sometimes they'll engage with the little dog before even asking the owners. They'll just walk up like, "Oh my gosh, oh your dog is so beautiful. Oh yeah, pet, 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 pet. Okay, bam, I'm gone. But what people don't realize is you just set the expectation that tells this dog that anybody who feels like it can come into my personal space and touch me, and you're not going to do nothing about it. So this a lot of times is what creates a very it creates a very frantic dog. And the dog a lot of the time they aren't aggressive, but they're trying to set boundaries because they see that the environment that you have them in, there's no boundaries. And so a lot of the times, like I told you guys with my animal, my animal lover episode, dogs will set the boundaries for you. But a lot of the times the boundaries that dogs set, a lot of the times as humans, we don't agree with them. You see what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I like my dog engaging, with my friends and family that way. But if somebody approaches my dog that my dog doesn't know, then they're gonna bark. Well, that's because the people that you allow your dog to engage with, they practice no boundaries. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times you can help your dog become more calm and confident by having a structure, having a way that you do things so that the dog doesn't have to always try to anticipate somebody invading his space without them wanting people to invade their space. Because a lot of the times people like dogs are social. Like dogs love to coexist with us. The problem is that we as humans, we don't be mindful that a lot of the times they don't know what's going to happen. And so they have to anticipate and think ahead of what's going to happen. And then that's where the bark, 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 that's where that stuff comes from. And then, for the bigger dogs, this is why people get bigger dogs. Bigger dogs will sit there and tell the owners when somebody is coming that isn't supposed to be here. You see what I'm saying? And this is a big thing with like Rottweilers, a lot of German Shepherds are this way. You even get some, cattle dogs that are really like vocal when it comes to there being movement or there being a presence in which the dog is unfamiliar with. And this is why people get these dogs. You see what I'm saying? They do their job. And part of, part of these dogs doing their job is from them only socializing with the family. You guys see what I'm saying? Those dogs are comfortable socializing with the family. So outside of that, anybody that approaches the house, approaches the car, they're an intruder. And that's how the dog takes it. So having boundaries just in general, it helps to make life a lot easier for you. You know what I'm saying? If you're a person that, wants to cut back on, eating and exercising more, then you just set the boundary. You say, all right, look, I'm not gonna eat these foods no more so that I can work out. You see what I'm saying? And so even when people try to engage with you and invite you to certain, restaurants and, fast food places that don't really have the type of foods that you want to stick to, you can always decline, and you can tell them like, "Oh, nope, it's okay. I'll go with you guys, but I'm gonna order my food from over there because I don't eat none of this stuff." And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with setting boundaries for yourself, and you shouldn't let people dictate what boundaries you set for yourself because again, people don't understand. You see what I'm saying? People don't understand. It's like, it's like with kids, you know, and parents who don't like their kids to eat a lot of sugar. They don't like their kids to eat a lot of candy. So they'll be adamant with telling other people, oh no, that's okay. She doesn't or no, 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 he doesn't need no candy. And it's not that they're being rude, it's not that they're being mean, but it's just that one, I don't want my kids eating all of that candy. And two, I know what happens when my kids eat this candy. They're going to be jumping off the walls, lady, and you're not going to be nowhere around to help me deal with these kids. So that's why I don't want my kids to eat all this sugar. Plus, my kids could get cavities, all of this stuff, all of this stuff. So again, like, you know, just going back to, boundaries is important. And we should all just take time and take notes to really figure out, like, what is it that I want to start doing and what is it that I want to stop doing? What are some things that, I'm gonna start setting a limit to so that I'm in a better flow of life, so that I can make things a lot easier for myself, so that, I can at least, be in control in that aspect. Having boundaries is control. And once you set boundaries for yourself and you stick to them, that's when you're in ultimate control of each and every step that you take. And like that's super, super important, and it's super, super helpful, especially in a crazy world that we're in now, so where anything can happen. You have to be super cautious. You just set boundaries for yourself. If you're in an area and it gets kind of crazy at a certain time, then you know that, okay, well, I'm in the house by this time, so I don't even have to worry about that stuff. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you guys, the moral of the story is boundaries. You guys always want to have boundaries, because if you guys don't have boundaries, you want to start setting boundaries for yourself. If you're in a relationship with a loved one and you want to start, you know, um, cutting off a lot of foods so that you can start watching your health and start getting, into more fitness and exercising, then that's something that you guys can sit down and you guys can talk about. Because again, you don't want to be the only one trying to, watch what you eat and be healthier, and then the other person is just, they're pigging out. They're like, well, you sure you don't want none? I'll give you some if you want some. You know what I'm saying? You have to, you want to have that support, even if the person doesn't agree with, you know, what you're doing. At least sit down and talk to them, so at least you can get to an understanding, so that they'll have some type of respect for you, and say, okay, I know that you don't eat these foods no more, so whenever I go and eat these foods, then I'll just, I'll eat them at the restaurant. I won't bring it home. Or, I'll just, let you eat first, and then, I'll go eat my stuff, so that, it's ways to work around it. But again, you know, you have to be confident, and you have to have courage to be able to set those boundaries and stick to them. You got to stick to your guns. You can't sit there and like our episode that we talked about confidence, man. You can't say one thing and then double back on what you said. Like, it doesn't work. You don't grow that way. So yep, that's what the episode was today. If you guys haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, you guys can go ahead and do that. If you guys go to our YouTube channel, we'll leave the link in the description, so you guys can follow us on Instagram. You guys can get some of our merch. We got Bad Dog merch. Yep, we got some merchandise for your dog. We got shirts for you guys. Oh yeah, and the link for our book. And the link for our book, it's the digital version. So you guys can go ahead and download the digital version, and you guys can read that. It's the book isn't that long. It's a fairly short book, but a lot of the examples and the things that I put into the book, it's huge. It's like it's mind-blowing stuff that if you really sit back and ponder it, you'd be like, man, that's brilliant. Like, I never thought of that. And I just give it to you guys from a different, perspective. That's all. So yep, I'll leave those links in the bio. You guys can go ahead and get the merch, get the book. You guys can follow us on Instagram. And until next time, we'll see you guys. And remember, no matter what, you guys are perfect. Every single day, you're perfect. See you guys next time.